So
Alrighty, wow.
Chili Davis, and then we're also going to talk about the Ricketts.
The Ricket. Oh, I get
Yeah,
that. I'll break it down.
yeah,
All
for
right,
sure.
go
I'll
ahead.
do the intro and then hi, live audience. I'll do the intro and then I'll bring you in, although to break it all down like we usually do, and we'll go from there. Because that's kind of a
Wait, let me get a beer.
yep. That's like a very shady shit show. That's like getting kind of
I
overshadowed
mean,
by the free agent thing.
he called Theo a liar. Like everyone
Basically,
has the receipts. Everyone has the receipts. They're like,
right.
whoa, 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 whoa. Theo didn't say this last year after they signed you. Apparently, they're it's tweeted out by the way, and
Okay.
apparently they're not doing some other like fan panel things at their convention
Yeah,
this week. People are pissed.
they're saying it's because it was a low rated it was
No,
the lowest
it's different. It
lowest
was
rated something.
that was his excuse for their owner panel, but there is another one for like for season ticket holders. Apparently, they would have like special like private panels with coaches and players for season ticket, and they're not doing that this year.
Yeah. Well, they said it was unpopular. It's like, get out of here. Go jump in a lake.
Yeah, you get them, Milk.
Get off my lawn.
You get them. You get them good.
Are we live?
Yes.
Yep.
I'll hold my next comment.
Yes, it's all been tweeted. You're drinking weird hipster beer, and
Don't call me a hipster. I just came from the Pacific Northwest. Freshies.
Yeah, where I'm from, if it's not Bush, Bud, or Miller, you're a hipster.
Bush
All right.
Bud Miller.
Bush, Bud, America. All right, you
Ooh,
guys.
we got Aldo as the lead guy today. I'm gonna retweet that bad boy.
Oh, is that giant face on there?
Well,
It switches for me for whoever's talking.
it's usually me, and I'm like, last week or 2 weeks ago, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, you were upset because you didn't get to stare at yourself for an hour and a half. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right. What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, January 18th. Hey, the gang is all back together. You have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I'm your host, Matt Zwaski. They call me Zoe. With me, as always, Mr. Aldo Soto.
I was gonna say Happy New Year since it was the first time I've been on the show in 2019, but it's been miserable for the
Terrible.
Cubs. So,
I
Terrible
was
New
just
Year.
tweeting that.
so happy not New Year.
Or not Happy New Year. And Matt Anuko, fresh off his tour of the green-ridden fields of the Pacific Northwest.
Yes, where my beard got bushier and longer.
Yes, your beard.
5 days, and I drank really weird beer, and may or may not have participated in recreational cannabis.
Ooh,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
you're such a rebel, dude.
I know, man. Buster Olney is reporting differently. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, but did you see Hector
Show's
Gomez?
off to a hot
said
start. I love
that
it.
you definitely did.
Yep.
8 times. Yeah. So we have a. You got the laugh down. We have a jam-packed show for you, as you would imagine. There's tons of shit going on. As I tweeted out, if you got the kids around or in the car or anything, this might not be the best episode because Uncle Zoe is going to be swearing. I am fucking pissed off. There is no way around it.
Just get it going.
Yeah, I'm going to try to hold him in, but it's just not going to happen. I am not happy with the state of Major League Baseball right now. We're going to start it off with Manny and Bryce Harper news. We're going to talk about the absolute dumpster fire circus that is going on with the Cubs right now. And I feel like it's kind of being overshadowed by all the free agency thing, and that's a good thing for the Ricketts family right now because there's a lot of stupid going on. Aldo's going to break that down. Then, I mean, it's inevitable. We're going to get into the Manny. We're going to get into the MLB writers battle royale. We're going to talk Bryce. We're going to talk reports, sources. We're going to talk about all that shit. So with all that being said, let's tap this keg. As always, the show is brought to you by SportsMockery, sportsmockery.com. Make sure you download the app. and you enable those push notifications, because if any one of them assholes finally signs a piece of paper, we will be pushing it out right away and you will be the first to know. So sportsmockery.com, enable push notifications. You're going to want to be sportsmockery, sportsmockery.com. All right. Oh, we got to do our stat of the week. Tick Blitz stat of the week. TIXLITZ.com. Tick Blitz. No fees, guaranteed tickets. You're going to want to, you save a ton of money with it. It's a great system. The site is very fluent, very easy UI. Tickblitz.com. This stat comes from me and Aldo's brain. The stat is, according to everyone on Twitter, the amount of Major League Baseball teams that are interested in Manny Machado and Bryce Harper is now 1 to 30. So that is your Tick Blitz stat of the week. Tick Blitz, TIXBLITZ.com. Tick Blitz for all your sports and concert and, yes, ticket needs. As you can tell by my voice, I'm not my normal cheery self because I've been driven to madness by this.
I can't. That was
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
You've given.
What?
That was an incredible character you just created. You should keep that.
What's that?
Crazy Zo.
Tick Blitz.
Tick Blitz. Tick Blitz. Get your tickets from Tick Blitz. Tick Blitz.
You might as well just be a scalper. Let's move on.
All right. So let's start with the Cubs shit show. Why not? So the Ricketts have, well, there's just a lot of different things going on here. This is a little more complex than what it just seems like on the surface. Although you watching the Ricketts family a little bit more closely than Nuke or I out, why don't you go ahead and just break it all down? Why is Cubs Twitter so pissed off today?
Well, obviously this stems back from they had a horseshit 2018 year. Theo Epstein made it clear that they were going to make a big change. He specifically said at his end of the season press conference, the offense broke. We're going to start to look at, or we have to look at the results instead of the potential. It's like, all right, alarm bells. Here comes Bryce. Here comes someone. Here comes Manny Machado. We get to like November. There's the deadline for Cole Hamels option. The Cubs pick it up, but they have to trade Drew Smyly and his like $7 million because apparently the Cubs can't afford anyone anymore. But we've been dragged along for the past 3 months. Like, oh, well, maybe there's a chance. And then the Cubs finally have their Cubs convention this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And on, let's see, was it Wednesday? On Wednesday, the news broke that the Ricketts weren't going to have their annual Q&A session with the fans, which they've done for every year since they've become owners.
Yep.
And obviously everyone's like, well, they're fucking cowards. It's like, there's a reason they don't want to take, I mean, I haven't been to a Cubs convention, but I imagine like the people that go, like, it's not like they're asking the most, I don't know,
hard-hitting
educated questions. But no matter what, I mean, this
color.
But like this offseason, obviously, like the focus is going to be like, why the fuck haven't you guys like try to get better after like Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer have said we have to get better. Anyways, so that news breaks. They're not going to do a Q&A session with the fans. Instead, he does this little PR tour. He goes on 670 The Score on the Mully and Haw show first, and then he goes on ESPN 1000 with David Kaplan. And I mean, it was a complete shit show. Obviously, I don't think anyone thought like they were gonna. I mean, there were gonna be softball questions. They weren't gonna press him on anything, which they didn't. But we finally got to the whole what's going on with the payroll. And I mean, we saw Theo. He's already said, "Oh well, we've been like in the top 6 for the last couple of years. You know, you can't say that we haven't spent." Ricketts said the same thing, but he also said, "Well, you can't say that we haven't spent because we picked up Cole Hamels' option and we signed Daniel Descalso."
Oh. Watch out now!
Great, it was good though. Someone pointed out that he was like beginning to list what the Cubs have spent money on, but that's it. That's the only 2 moves that they've done to add to the MLB roster. Anyway, so basically, we've come to the point where, I mean, I'm pretty sure before, yeah, we've had our fun with, you know, the Cubs are in on Harper and, you know, there's like a 1% chance, like, oh, well, I don't know, a last minute miracle. But I think we've all, we know that it's most likely the Cubs aren't going to sign him because of the continual reporting that they just don't have the flexibility. But then Ricketts said, he was asked directly, because everyone's been wondering, well, is it because the Cubs signed Yu Darvish last year? And is his big contract like in the way of the Cubs not going after Bryce Harper or Manny Machado, because they could use either? And Ricketts completely threw Theo Epstein under the bus. And he's like, yeah. And he was asked directly, I think it was by David Kaplan. He asked him directly, like, did Theo Epstein know last year when he signed Yu Darvish and Tyler Chatwood to their deals that if he signed them, he wasn't going to be able to go after Bryce Harper or like the big free agents this offseason? And Tom Ricketts said yes. And you know what? Okay. All right, fine. If that's the truth, all right. Or
that's
if that's
in the nuts.
Or it's not even if that's the truth. If that's what happened, someone's lying here, because everyone has the receipts from last year. Because Theo Epstein is like the most transparent like front office guy I think like we've ever seen.
I'm a big fan of Theo,
and especially like we've seen that more with kind of, I guess, with coaches like Matt Nagy. He's pretty, he'll keep things honest for the most part. But after the Cubs signed Yu Darvish and Chatwood and like they fill out the rotation, like they were, because everybody was wondering that too. Everyone knew that Bryce Harper and Machado were going to be free agents this offseason. And they knew that the Cubs their payroll was going to be above that luxury tax limit. So they like asked them last year, and Theo Epstein, he didn't directly mention Harper or Machado, but he talked in like general terms. And he's like, well, I mean, payrolls are flexible. We're not going to put ourselves in, we're not going to put ourselves in a position where we can't make the team better. And he said the same. He basically said the same thing after the Cubs got eliminated by the Rockies in the wild card game. He's like, we have to evaluate this team, the players. We have to go, like, we have to make ourselves. The offense broke. They need a better bat. They have a need. They either need someone in the infield, because you have Addison Russell, who, obviously there's the whole domestic violence thing, but he's just hasn't been a good baseball player for 2 years. And the outfield, I mean, you have Jason Hayward, who had his best season as a Cubs offensively last year, and he was just average. Yeah. Albert Almora, Ian Happ, okay. Kyle Schwarber's been like a 3-WAR player, fine. But hey, the Cubs have a need. They can just put in Bryce Harper in the outfield. And now all of a sudden, Theo Epstein, is Tom Ricketts really gonna make Cubs fans believe that he told Theo Epstein last year, okay, you can sign Tyler Chatwood, but if you sign him, you can't get Bryce Harper next year? Are you kidding me?
Right.
No way.
There's
what
no
about?
way.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
No, go after you, Nuke.
Well, I wanted to pile on this because didn't Ricketts say yesterday something about a $20 to $30 million operational tax that the Cubs continue to play?
Yeah, and threw that out too.
And he also said, like, well, other teams don't pay this and we do. What is that all about?
I mean, that's just him making an excuse for. That's just him making an excuse for, oh, like, we've spent money and we have these other things. Oh, then he was so condescending towards fans. He's like, I don't think Cubs fans understand that, we have player in their arbitration years and like they're getting pay raises. We fucking know. What are you talking about? We know that you're not going to have Javier Baez make the league minimum every year. Like,
so not only is there's this whole basically calling Theo a liar, which we all know isn't true, because we're all going to side with Theo on this, because we all know Theo's not just a fucking moron, and he's not going to go like, you know what? Yep, give me Tyler Chatwood. Don't need Bryce Harper. So the other things though that I'm seeing in Cubs Twitter land, and I have a very small Cubs Twitter land following, but people are still salty about the TV deal, the company in which that they have that with. People are very salty and upset, very reasonably so, about that shit scumbag Addison Russell getting re-signed. And yes, because of the domestic abuse and because of the terrible baseball player, and he paid his fucking child support in a bag of quarters. And people are mad about that. And then he comes out, and now there's this shit with him and Theo. She said stuff. it's not a good look. And then to cancel your panel because you said it's not popular, dude.
Oh yeah,
that's a thin zone.
And then he said, "Well, if fans want it back, they can fill out the survey or whatever that they do." And then he even said, he's like, I think it was also during the Kaplan interview. He's like, "Well, even if we had the financial flexibility, I don't think we would have gone after a big free agent this offseason anyway." What? What are you talking? You don't want to make your team better?
Why would you say that out loud?
Right, and I get it. I mean, the Cubs sucked for the last 2 months, and they still won 95 games. They were a game away from the NLDS.
Right.
And like you expect to have Bryant back, and he's back. He's going to have like his MVP type season every year because that's basically what he's done when he's been healthy. And you're hoping that Baez, like even if he regresses, that he'll still keep a high, level.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Rizzo. He's been consistent. You hope that Contreras doesn't have just completely falls off the earth like he did last year. But like, how do you not?
Although you're not even done yet, because
how do you not even try?
But you're not.
Yeah, how do you not even try?
You're not done yet with the circus. Because now,
yeah. Let's take this. Let's pitch a tent in New York right now. What's happening over there?
Now, Chili Davis is coming out. Go ahead, Aldo.
Wait a minute. Go ahead. Go ahead, Aldo. Don't put it on Chili. We suspect it's Chili.
We suspect it's someone from the Mets side. But there's a report from SNY. Like the Mets own that, right?
It's their network.
Right.
It's their media network. I don't know if they own it.
It's like the Yes Network, isn't it? But like for the Mets and the Nets.
Well, I think the Yankees might own because it's the Yankees network. SNY Sports New York. So I don't know if it's owned by the Mets and the Wilpons, but it's the channel that the Mets are always on. Yeah.
Okay.
They have a deal.
Right. So they had a report from. It was funny. The reporter, the blogger. I don't even know. It was like an old guy, but it was like from a blog post, and his name was John Harper. Hilarious.
Ironic.
And he said that according to his sources, Theo Epstein didn't want to fire Chili Davis, and that he ended up caving in because players wanted him out. And he specifically mentioned Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo, which is even more hilarious because we all know that the noted troublemaker Chris Bryant really likes to, say dramatic things.
And see, this is where I wanted. Kevin couldn't make it today, but Kevin K-Fids, the fourth member of our squad, our guy in Vegas, who coached Chris Bryant, knows Chris Bryant fairly well. As soon as this story came out, he came right in our chat. He goes, "This is the funniest shit I've ever seen," because there's no way Chris did that. No chance in hell.
Can you imagine Chris Bryant like when he's talking to Theo Epstein at their at the end of the year meeting or whatever? He's like, "Dang it, Theo, you gotta get Chili out of here."
Royally effed up my shoulder.
Like, gosh darn! Like,
gosh darn, Theo. I'm so GD mad. I'm so GD mad right now.
I don't know why
it really grinds my gears.
I don't know why the HE double hockey sticks you brought him on. Like, come on.
You know what? I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna drink 6 Mountain Dews. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And so, I might even stay up past midnight and play Fortnite.
And like I pointed out after that story came out, like again, going back to Theo's press conference in October, he like specifically pointed out that their philosophy, they believe in the launch angle. It's not a fad. It's not a myth. And that goes directly against what Chili Davis preaches and teaches as a hitting coach. So I don't think he needed much convincing after the shit show that he saw in the second half of the season.
I mean, that's a lot to take in, though. All that stuff you just lined up right there, like everything. And I feel like, again, he being Ricketts, is almost getting bailed out by the fact that no one signed yet. Because everyone's talking about Manny and Harper and all these free agents.
And you know what? And you know what else is bailing him out? There's
6 wins.
Well, no, there's still. I mean, today after I heard him, I'm like, all right, whatever. The Cubs aren't getting them. Fine, I'll accept it. It's stupid. It's still stupid. But all right, fine. They're not getting him. And then.
No, I know. Well, here it goes.
Like, what was it? Like
a report comes out of Philly.
A report out of Philly. What's his name? Jim Salisbury?
Jim Salisbury. Yep.
I guess
I
they
have
had.
something to say after you finish this. Go ahead.
I mean,
I got the push, and I laughed in the middle of a meeting.
Zoe was right because I like did a quick write up and it's like obviously took it over the top. It's like, oh, so Jim Salisbury, who covers the Phillies.
Hey guys, Bryce Harper might go to the Cubs. What do you think about that?
They do a good job. They do a good job with the headlines because it wasn't just the Cubs. But okay, so let's go back to Let's go back to Wednesday when all the Manny Machado shit is going off. John Heyman also tweets out
real quick. We just did a solid segue. So air high five to all of us right there. That was seamless. Go ahead.
So John Heyman on Wednesday, in between all the Machado fireworks, he goes, the White Sox, the Nationals, and the Phillies are like the only 3 known teams in on Bryce Harper, but there are people who think that there are several teams like waiting it out, seeing how the market is going to go. And then on Thursday, Salisbury goes on a podcast in Philadelphia, and he's like, well, you know those mystery teams? I still think it's the Dodgers, Yankees, and Cubs. And that comes out right after the Ricketts interview Thursday morning, which basically he's like, yeah, we're not going to sign a giant free agent, and you should be happy that we have Daniel Descalso.
Yeah,
so I'm still clinging. And also, I think this is just, it's not even the entire thing because we've heard the same thing. Ken Rosenthal reported, was like a week ago that the Cubs obviously want a shot at Harper, but that it's the ownership holding them back. Even a couple of months ago, our guy, Bruce Levine, he's like, he reported the opposite though. He's like, the Ricketts will sign off on a big deal, but that's
Uncle Bruce is in an econ class right now.
Taking night classes for econ?
Yeah, he's taking to talk about depreciation and stuff like that. But real quick, Nuke, I know you got to just for me, with regards to this, just stay on top of it. The timing was a little weird that all this shit happened with the Ricketts family, and I feel like Ricketts hung up with Kaplan and was like, fucking nailed it. And PR called both his cell phones and was like, what are you doing? What the fuck did you just say on this guy's show? And he was like, who do we got? And then they leaked this info to Philly.
In Philadelphia.
No, I think I get it. Well, I don't even know if excited is the right word because I'm just, at this point, I'm just going to overblow any bit of info. But really none of that was new. It's just like everyone's right. Like, oh, well, the Dodgers could be in it, the Yankees could be in it, the Cubs could be in it. Like that those are all plausible things.
Padres
as long as they don't sign, especially the Cubs and the Dodgers, guys that teams that need to shed salary, of course they're still in it. It's not like they're ignoring it.
By the way,
it sounds like they are, but we know that's not true. It cannot be true, especially with Theo Epstein.
Right. Oh, by the way, what's to stop Theo to just signing someone? Ricketts gonna...
Listen, dude, I'm doing it.
That would be so hilarious. Theo's like, all right, here's your contract, and then what is it? Ricketts gets the invoice. He's like, wait, what is this?
It'd be like the Harper trade that was all rubber stamped, and then got to the owner in Washington, and he's like, nope, not doing it.
And then Theo turns out. Of course the Cubs want a good fucking player.
Right. Yeah, no, it's not that far fetched.
But all right. So 2 things real quick on Jim Salisbury. Jim Salisbury back in the summer had me convinced because he is not a sources kind of guy who's always out there tweeting about it. He is pretty thorough. I was listening to him on the radio in the summer. I swore to God he was that a Machado Phillies deal was going to get done midsummer before the deadline. He was like, it's happening. All the people I've spoken to, it really feels like it's going to, and then it never happened. So I was like, well, all right, Jim Salisbury. But
he did break the McCutchen deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, big deal. After it happened, probably, right?
How many McCutchen deals have you broken?
He was the first one to break it, I'm pretty sure.
That's true. Oh, all right. Well, then good for Jim Salisbury. Mm-hmm. I like Jim Salisbury. I'm just saying.
Jim Salisbury is my guy. As long as he's keeping the Cubs in the
you have jumped on a lot of Jim Salisbury. You have jumped on a lot of Salisbury steaks, my friend.
Oh.
But on this podcast, I believe he didn't cite any sources. He just said, I believe they're still in, right?
It was just, it was pure
And I
speculation.
mean, literally, if there's anything, and this is the perfect segue into the White Sox side, this offseason has proven to us how ridiculous it can get and how much the media is manipulated by each side.
This is all Twitter's fault. This is all Twitter's fault.
Oh, 100%. Because where else would they put it out? Articles?
Print it?
I would wonder that too. It's like, dude, I was like
Snapchat.
Because like I remember Heyman when he was when he left CBS and before he went on to whatever his next writing place was. I think he was like, oh no, that was Rosenthal. Remember when Rosenthal was just posting his stories on Facebook?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Like, do they just do the same?
He left Fox. Yeah.
Yeah, he left Fox. Is like, do they just post the same stuff like on their Facebook pages?
All right, so that would be sweet. Like, hey guys,
you get all your grandma's commenting.
Here's a picture of my dog. By the way, 8 years, $275 for Manny Machado.
P.S. I didn't tell you guys this, but I offered Ken Rosenthal a job at Sports Mockery. I swear I did. I emailed with him and I offered him the job, and he was like, "Thanks, never mind."
At least he said thanks.
He did. He's like, "I'll let you know."
I mean, are we going to break the news that Ken Rosenthal was reportedly considering?
Considered for 2 seconds. Reportedly read an email that suggests that offered him a job.
It takes for you to type out no, thank you.
But we have to. Yeah, no. The report's gonna be report Rosenthal considers job at Sports Mockery.
Here we go. Here's the headline tomorrow. I'm gonna get angry emails from him. It's like, what are you doing?
By the way, okay, I think we're about to transition to the.
Let's talk about. I want to talk about baseball writer battle royale.
Oh, I was gonna say though, we haven't really heard anything from Rosenthal on Machado.
Exactly.
Or
Harper. Right.
Because he's sitting back just laughing at this shit.
No, because nothing's happening. That's why. All right, so let's get to it.
He's like, dance, fools. So we basically have two teams here. Team one is Jeff Passan, Hector Gomez. And they are reporting Sox offering 8 years, 250, which, okay.
Good starting point.
Yep. And then on the other team, you have Buster Olney and Uncle Bob Nightingale, who are standing firm with their 7 years, 175. So that's a 25 AAV, which equals Stanton money, but whatever. Then you got John Heyman, and he's kind of floating in between. He's kind of on the side of both, but he's changed his tune a little bit after Dan Lozano of MVP Sports came out and released a statement like, just stop. Just fucking stop. Like, but this is fucking ridiculous.
Heyman's still at 7 years, around $200 million.
Right. So he upped that.
Something with a 2. Starting with a 2, I think.
You got guys weirdly, like, unprovoked, like, Bruce Levine from the fucking cornfields is backing the 7-year 175 for no reason. And now he's talking about depreciation and used cars going off lots and all this other weird shit. And he's backing everybody up. And then then again,
deferred money and market value.
Lonzo comes out with this thing, just telling everyone to stop. And then Bruce is still going off trying to tweet at people like, no, it's real. It's real. And Heyman's like, bro, his agent just made it pretty clear it's not. And it was just like the complete body bagging on Twitter. It's like the definition of a Twitter murder. Like, what are you talking about, Bruce? Like,
well, I think this all, like, who do you believe? Who do you trust?
None of them.
Like, not well, right. No, I mean, like, I think for years people have been like, all right, Bruce, I call him Prickly Bruce because when I listen to him asking questions, I like him because he's like what we like to call a big J journo.
He's an old school.
Yeah, right. And he has no problem asking questions. And like, I've listened to Han get kind of annoyed with him. I've heard him, kind of not take shots at Jose Abreu, but like when Jose Abreu laughs off a question, he's like, "This is important. We need to ask these questions." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." Anyway, we all understand what Prickly Bruce is, but then there's Bob Nightingale, who has been on the show before. We totally appreciate it. 50-50, you kind of say, all right, well, like I asked him back in the summer if the Nationals were going to tear it down in the midseason. He's like, nah, definitely not. The
Swing and a miss.
Phillies will fade and Washington will surge, and then they, traded everybody. So maybe not a full scale tear down, but they certainly were trading people. So then you get to the next tier. Well, like Buster Olney,
That's the one
again,
that Buster let me down. I like Buster Olney, and I think he's very reputable. And then
Big J Journo. Big J Journo.
Know what happened. It's fucking bananas. This is like nothing we've ever seen before.
But then you have Heyman flip flopping. He's going back and forth. He's like riding the wave of like, well, maybe this is true, and then he comes back like, no, this is no. And then you got just like Ken Rosenthal sitting in the back chuckling to himself, like, we all talk to the same people. You don't see me reporting anything.
Right.
Right.
So who do you trust? Obviously, I think we're all on the same page with, Ken Rosenthal.
Nobody. Unless Ken Rosenthal. Ken, that's it. I'm done with everybody else. Everybody else is hashtag done. I honestly right now believe the dude that DM'd me that says his dad hangs out with Ricky Renteria more than I believe any.
Well,
that's it.
I do think
and
that.
By the way, that guy said his dad said that.
But
Manny's coming to Chicago.
Well, you got to trust your sources, though, right? I mean, so I don't blame I'm actually glad to see Nightingale and Olney sticking to their guns. They're not being wads about it, like Dan Clark was. We can talk about that a little bit later, too, because what if Machado does sign with the Yankees? But, he was kind of a wad about it and was like arrogant to people. But you gotta, because these are the guys that you talk to. I'm sure it wasn't like some new person that Nightingale and Olney, like, some intern in the front office was like, hey, just like text me. I'm sure it was somebody they knew and they trust and they still trust. But you gotta also, we're sitting here like, where is this? The information is clearly coming from two sides. Lozano is clearly, which we can talk about how much of a scumbag he is, the king of what is it, Sleaze Mountain. He wants to take the high moral and ethical ground, which is just totally ridiculous.
No, he doesn't get to do it.
But his comments were kind of right and stuck by his client because they don't want that low number out there. That's not how you negotiate. So if the White Sox are throwing out that they want to, stick to this 175 narrative.
No. Why the fuck would the White Sox want that out there? That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I don't understand why people think the White Sox. Why would they have this dude in the crosshairs, only team bidding on him, only team with the offer? But hey, I got a fun idea, guys. Let's put out that we offered him something super low so other teams start bidding again. That'll make it so much more fun. That is
all right. Well, this gets even to but this gets to a deeper thing. What happened to an offer and an official offer? When did that become a distinction?
Right?
Are you with me here, Aldo?
It's
like, whoa. There was an offer, but there was not an official offer. Isn't an offer an official offer?
Like, are they just talking about like their initial offer? I don't know.
Like, is that a sheet of paper, like in writing, in ink?
It's like, do they not
know? I mean, like, we have never, the vernacular, the terms have changed in just the way, like official offer to an offer. That has all changed. I've never seen that in the off season.
If you don't think I've never seen this shit. If you don't think that when Manny went to dinner with the New York front office in New York when he was doing his little tour, that numbers weren't brought up at all, then just give me a call. I got a bridge to sell you in New York
City.
Well, that's what Heyman said. Heyman said that Machado, like in his dinner with them, like he wasn't talking money. Like, what the fuck are they talking about then?
Well, maybe not hard numbers.
No, and okay, let's do semantics. Machado never talked about money, but
he's aging.
Lozano was sitting right next to him. Right. If I stomp my feet twice and blink twice, that means we want more than Stanton.
Right.
Like
so here's a question. Have we gotten to the point? And this, I think, like I've seen a lot of strike talk out there for the next CBA, which
Yeah, that's nasty. I'm scared.
That is going to be a thing because the last two off seasons with these free agent classes, and this epic one that we all kind of knew was coming anyway, but last season we did not expect it, like JD Martinez to sign for what he did so late. March 11th, I think you put out there, Aldo, right?
Well, that was Arrieta, but I think JD.
So that was Arrieta?
Yeah, Arrieta was in March 11th. I mean, Yu Darvish signed like February 10th, I think. Moustakas signed late.
But I think JD Martinez was in March too. I think I saw.
Yeah, anyway, he was late too. He was like in February or March.
It was late.
Or it was Hosmer who signed late too.
So maybe this is changing. Maybe we can evaluate it this way, where teams are not afraid to tell players, listen, we don't need to talk turkey right now. We don't need to talk numbers right now. We're going to bid on you. We're going to give you a competitive bid. Come back to us when you have an offer from other people. And they're all saying it. Huh?
That's what was reported for the Cubs. That's like they met with Bryce Harper. They're like, take your offers and then come check back with us. If you want to believe it, fine.
I mean, I think a month ago we were saying that like when there was that 2-minute meeting with the Yankees that we thought was a 2-minute meeting. It was like, no, listen, just go meet with everybody else, come back. So
yeah, they went to dinner.
So and then but we thought it was only a 2-hour. You remember this when Steinbrenner's mother died and he had to go to. It was like, how do you not know this? But then they went out to dinner. It came out later. But is that the difference between an offer and an official offer, where it's like, we're going to offer you? That's our like word of mouth, handshake. We'll offer you, but we are not going to give you specific terms. The other part is, I have never been on any side of one of these big negotiations, and I've never talked to anybody that has been on one of these big negotiations, so I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm going to guess that the agent gets the numbers and then the agent presents that to the players. Now, were terms talked about, were like, 10 years and 300s, kind of like the neighborhood that it gets it done, and was that talked about in front of Machado or Harper? I'm sure. Like the teams know. The teams talk to the agents, but the agents have it. Reading that article on Lozano yesterday in Deadspin, he clearly does it. He's a sleazebag that like a team will offer $1 million contract. He'll go back to his player, say they offered 800,000, wait 3 days, and then say they up their offer to $1 million and then accept it. So
not great.
Not great.
No,
not great.
I don't know.
I think no matter what the information that's being reported, it's out there. If you want to believe it, if you don't want to believe it, it doesn't matter who it's coming from. I still think it's pretty obvious that like Machado's just not getting the offers that he thought, and that's why that's why it's January. It's going to be January 18th when this episode comes out, and we're nowhere near close to Machado signing or Harper signing and a whole bunch of other guys.
I don't think. I have been for months, or maybe I'll say a month. I've been saying this is going to go into February, easy, late February. I'm starting to think even, I don't see a problem as a player making a decision into March, the first week in March, because they're still working. They still know what they're doing, all their workouts. It's just where they're going to do it and with what players. And Machado, this could work against them. Well, this is total conspiracy here, but like with John Jay and Yonder Alonso with the White Sox, that's even more and Jose Abreu's down there in Miami too. It's even more of like a comfort zone where it's like, well, if I choose the White Sox, I know a bunch of guys and they all know each other, but I really know a bunch of these guys in the clubhouse. I'm just going to go play baseball.
Yeah. It's a good point. I actually never could he be
Kyle? Could he be Kyle Loesch and sign in April?
No. Oh my God!
So I threw out this number the other day when like all the two offers were being reported. I think it's kind of a good number to set. So do you think at the end of the day, or at the end of the who knows when he's going to sign, do you think Manny signs for more or less than $275 million?
I think that's a really good question and a good threshold.
I'm good with 250.
250?
I think 250.
I think that's a good starting point. If I'm Machado, and the White Sox have given me a 7-year, 175 deal, I say go jump in a lake and don't come back.
That's why that can't be real. That's why.
No.
Yeah, that can't be.
That's virtually half. That's virtually half.
But 8 years, 250 for 8 years, so that's an AAV of 31.25. Stanton's is 25, so you already got $6 more million than him a year. That's what he wants. That's not a bad deal.
No, he wants the total sum, I think is what everybody is talking about. Same with Harper. They want the total sum, which, again,
I think they want both.
Stanton's. Well, and you know what? Mike Trout is I think he's the highest paid player
I think he's
in baseball
like
right now. 33 or 33, I think, right?
Something like that.
For the next 2 years. And he's the best player in baseball, of course. He's an outfielder that's dynamic. Okay? He can do everything on a baseball field. So that guy is clearly the best player in baseball. Like, leaps and bounds. Giancarlo Stanton is not one of the best players in baseball. He is one of the best power hitters.
He's a DH.
He's a DH. So Manny Machado is an elite infielder. He gives you defensive value as much as offensive value, and he's a better average hitter, better contact hitter, and shows those glimpses of power that Stanton has. So in my opinion, 31, I mean, even putting him in within $5 million of that Stanton deal, he's worth more than that to me. I'd put him up there at 33. And of course, this is all tiered and average annual value. I'm okay with 33 to 34, maybe 35, because over 10 years, Mike Trout in 2 years is going to blow that out of the water. He's going to be 40 million, 45 million. Bryce Harper is going to be higher. Bryce Harper, I think, will get the average annual value of like 35, and he'll start at 30, 32, and then go up to like 37, I'm sure. And Machado will be like 2-3 million underneath of that. So,
right.
I'm fine with 250 and 8, but I'm also fine with 10 and 300 and up.
Right. But the other thing that's into play in my head is with these numbers, let's say he's not getting, because like you both mentioned, he's obviously not getting 310 is not on the table from anyone.
Right.
If it was, he'd be signed by now. But if the market declares where he's at, and it comes in where he's at that 250 range or whatever, and all of a sudden other teams are like, oh shit, I got that, and now he has this choice. He's just going to go where he wants. He's going to go to the Yankees. They made it clear he wants to go to the Yankees. If everyone offers him the same thing, he's going to go to the Yankees.
Yeah,
right. No.
That's why that number, again, I think the 8 for 250 is a good starting point, but even that number is like, all right, during this entire time, we're like, well, the White Sox are going to have to overpay to like draw him in compared to the Yankees. Obviously, the Yankees are like the top, they're the ones who are ready to win now, and I mean, I guess the Phillies are ahead in their rebuild compared to the White Sox, but it's really the Yankees who are like, well, Manny would take like less money
right now.
Yeah, like maybe he would take less to go with them. But if like you're right, if like the deals are the same, like
why wouldn't
go to the Yankees?
Right.
Do the Yankees?
You're in the AL East. You're familiar. They are stacked especially after getting out of Vino.
Yeah,
that bullpen is pretty good.
It's legit.
That bullpen is baseball porn.
So here's I'm starting to get creative. I'm starting to channel my inner Theo here. Okay.
Yeah, you took one. I saw you just slip a gummy bear into your mouth. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No. You're making me breathe hard into the mic. All right. So what if these reports? All right. So if I'm Machado and nobody wants to give me or even come in around my 10 and 300 like baseline, what if somebody says, all right, like the White Sox said, 7 and 250 or 8 and 250, we'll call it 8 and 275. What if Lozano says, listen, in 2 years, there's a player option and, we'll offer to extend, or there's like a vesting thing. If he bats 300 over those 3 years with 300 RBIs and 90 homers.
You want to put in performance clause?
It's the Jake Arrieta deal with the Phillies. I think he signed for like 3 for 75, but then I think he can make up to 150 if
Mhm.
he like goes up to certain
Mhm.
performance.
Which I'd be
things.
fine. And
But what if
Manny,
it doubles what if it adds 3 more years and 100 million?
good, because he earned it.
Do
I
it.
agree. I just don't think, you know what? I think there's also a reluctance. I think I don't know. Do you think that could possibly be?
So it'd be what, a 13-year deal? Or no, an
No, it'd be a
11-year
10-year deal, 10 or 11-year deal for 375 mil.
But they got, I mean, other sports are really big on performance modifiers. Like the NFL and hockey are both, if you hit 50 goals in a season, you get an extra blah, blah, blah. So
baseball's doing a lot more of that now.
But now we get back into the big problem. Everyone's pissed off because Major League Baseball doesn't have a salary cap. You shouldn't have to worry about how much you're spending. Oh, and the other thing, stop comparing these, like what Harper or Machado could get to like guys who were in their 30s getting 10-year deals. Like everyone points to like the big one's Pujols. Like
Pujols, yeah.
It's like, oh wow, the Angels gave him a 10-year deal and he's going to be like 42 years old when that deal ends. Like, yeah, who cares? Like, what does everyone always say when there's like a big free agent that's signed when they're like more than 30 years old? They're like, as long as he like performs up to his level, like the first 3 or 4 years of his deal will live with like the final years of his contract.
Absolutely.
It's like we'll be fine.
Right.
And hey, guess what? Manny Machado or Bryce Harper, at the end of their deals that they're going to get, you're going to have those 3 years at the end where you normally say, we'll take his like good performance. It's like, you're going to get that at the end of their deal. Stop. They're not apples to apples.
Right. And that's a win. That's a win. I mean, if you think of the 3 teams that we know that were or are in on Machado, the Yankees, the White Sox, and the Phillies, 2 of them are American League. So if Manny Machado gets fat and ugly, then, and he can just hit a baseball, then he's a DH. And the reality is, by the time he's in his mid-30s, he's probably traded anyway. Right. He's probably a salary dump somewhere.
And that's the other
Both of these guys. I mean,
that's the other thing that's annoying. Go ahead, finish your point.
They're not Matt Kemp.
Right.
They're Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp was a raw deal. Although it looked like brilliance last year, they're not Matt Kemp. These guys have proven themselves over 7 years in the big leagues that they are legit players, and they're at a historic age.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's my thing. Pay him. Pay him. Get creative with the opt-outs. Maybe go early. Maybe give a player option early as a sign of good faith, and then we'll lock you up like at 5 because we know Boris likes to reset the market every 5 years. If he goes crazy, fine, you lose him. Especially with the White Sox, that puts us right in our winning window anyway. Yep. So, and by that time we might have Eloy Jimenez and Lou Bob, and
Madrigal.
They might be better anyway. Well, we know Nick Madrigal, right? Exactly. He's gonna be. That's right. I forgot Nick Madrigal.
You just killed Nuke's buzz there with Madrigal.
Don't
watch him just turn into like an MVP, unreal, and I'll just have to be like, he's still 5'6".
He's gonna be David Eckstein.
By the way, he was a guest on the show this year, wasn't he?
He was.
Yes, he was. And when he becomes MVP,
I asked him
I'm going to do a whole show with just my ass to the camera, and I'm going to do Ace Ventura the whole time. And you're going to have to talk to my ass the whole fucking show.
I'll tell you what.
Nuke will tattoo a picture of your ass on his face if Nick Madrigal ever wins AL MVP.
If he wins AL MVP, I will gladly let you gloat as much as you want.
No, you have to get a tattoo of Zoe's ass on your face.
He doesn't.
You can come over to my. You can come over to my house and pop bottles of champagne on my front lawn.
Yep. So
Nuke, why are you so afraid to agree to this bet?
I don't know.
Because. But he doesn't have the pop. He'll never be. But Gold Glover for sure.
Did you say pop or pot?
Pop.
Pot.
Pop. Cheech.
He wasn't in the
power.
He was in the Northwest in college.
He doesn't have the power.
That's right. I took a pilgrimage over to his neck of the woods. Oh, I used woods. Yeah. There's lots of woods in Washington, but he's from Oregon, so actually he's from California.
I want to punch Stoner Nuke.
Stoner Nuke sucks. So
come on, let's yell at let's yell at some more clouds. I'm in.
No, I think I don't know. I got torched on Twitter for bringing up Madrigal, but
Why?
Yeah, why?
because he's too far away. To
Wait,
even
what did
talk
you
about.
say?
Well, no, yeah, he can't come up this year. Get out of here.
Yeah, you can be a
Actually,
Mets fan.
actually, Keith Law, I think, agreed with you.
Oh,
Oh,
You know-
that makes me feel real good. No, there was just a discussion like what happens when they do get Machado, like what does the infield look like and blah blah blah. And I wasn't saying this year, I just said he's coming sooner rather than later. But people are like, oh, put Tim Anderson at second and Yo-Yo at third. I was like, no, you got Madrigal who's going to be able to play second. And then right away, everyone, whoa, let's see how we can hit single A ball before you're putting him at starting second base. I'm like, all right, fine, fuck it. I messed up. Go ahead.
Oh,
Jump
Zoe,
on.
talking about single A ball. What happened this week? Someone got moved up to double A.
oh, your boy.
Omar, let's go. Omar. He's one step closer, baby.
By the way,
One step closer.
did the White Sox ever say what Renteria is like when his deal expires?
I don't think we've heard the terms, but he's been extended, right?
Yeah, so like
They announced that at the end of the season.
like the White Sox, they're known for their loyalty, or Jerry is. So I don't think they're gonna fire Ricky until whenever his deal's up. Yeah, Robin Ventura was like dead man walking for like 3 years, and he hung on until the very end.
Rick Renteria?
No.
With the Cubs?
No, Robin Ventura.
No, Robin Ventura.
Oh, Robin Ventura.
Dude,
Yeah,
I still remember. When did he get? When was he done? After 2015?
I think so.
Yeah. Or no, it was or whatever.
I think
I
middle
still remember.
2016.
No, because he just didn't get renewed. Like his contract ended. But I still remember Nightingale writing how the Sox were. It was like late September, and Nightingale wrote an article, and it was obviously like spoon fed to him from the White Sox front office, and it was like the White Sox are still considering like bringing back Ventura as manager. And like, obviously, Sox fans were like, "Why? Like, what are you talking about?" And then Nightingale got like pissed off. He's like, "I can't believe these White Sox fans. Like, this team is showing loyalty, and Sox fans don't respect that." It's like, what are you talking about? They don't want him back because he hasn't been good.
Robin was the manager from 2012 to 2016.
There you go.
2016. I thought so.
Hold on, let's get a career record for Robin here.
Well,
Career record of 375 and 435 for a career winning percentage of 463, and he never saw a postseason.
Oh, that's what you have when your big free agents are Adam Dunn and Adam LaRoche.
By the way, let's just be, because we're all about facts here. We're all about facts.
Facts.
Our buddy in our fiddler, Fiddy, did some research for us and said that the Mets actually do own a 65% stake in SNY. So
there we go. That was definitely a plant piece. It was like, hey, Chili, he's been fired the last 2 years, but it wasn't all his fault.
So if you were Bruce Levine, or let's even say Bob Nightingale or Buster Olney, are you going back to your source saying, "Listen, dude, I just look like a smacked ass on Twitter. You need to give me some kind of terms that explain this. I need details."
I think they know it beforehand. I think they know.
Yeah,
they know the game before.
Like I said, dude,
why wouldn't they try and verify?
Dude, something is afoot at the Circle K. There is some weird shit going on right now in Major League Baseball that we've never seen before. It's Twitter's fault, but people are being fed this bullshit from who knows where. I'm guessing it's like some burner phone from like, I don't know. It's bananas. And it's unfair for us, for the fans, because we have to sit through this bullshit. And some people, it's exciting. And yeah, it is fun
to a point.
To a point, but
right.
We're past that point. Because now it's just like
everything's inaccurate.
Yeah.
I don't hear anybody complaining about the NFL offseason or the NBA offseason when we're getting all this. I mean, granted, we're not getting conflicting reports quite to this scale. But I am one of those people that would say, you know what, this is probably okay because it's keeping people engaged.
No, I need a hard deadline.
But
I need a hard deadline.
That's just never going to work though, because then you're basically going to force players to sign for under what they're worth.
You're such a socialist.
Because imagine if there was a deadline. Let's say the deadline was like February 1, or no, let's say it's January 1 or whatever, like the new year. You get your 2.5 months of free agency, and like teams just aren't offering big money. Like you're going to force Bryce Harper to sign a 5-year, $125 million deal.
He would have probably just signed a 1-year deal and stayed in Washington.
In Washington, yeah.
I still think he might do that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I
wouldn't be surprised if the Washington just went crazy.
They have a good.
I mean,
team.
They have a really good team. Yeah,
aren't the Nationals really the only team who's reportedly made him a $300 million offer?
Reportedly,
yeah, because like there hasn't
formal offer,
but a rumored offer. That I don't fucking.
Yeah, so I don't know. Some of the cool things that happened though this week is.
Zoe's checked out. He's just sitting there on his phone.
No, he's watching.
He's like, I'm so tired of listening to you guys.
He's watching Eloy right now.
I'm watching, videos. That's what I was just gonna say. One of the cool things that has come out this week is you're starting to get people in cages. You're getting the standard, cages, grainy cell phone video from the beat reporters, but you're starting to see stuff like Steel Walker, and I know Nuke loves that big swing of his, and it's just, but it's starting to. I need stuff like that though, because I'm getting pushed away by all this bullshit with these free agent stuff, where I needed stuff like that this week, like Eloy in the cage, Steel Walker in the cage, Madrigal in the cage, just to kind of just remind me like baseball. Like I still fucking love this game. I want to watch this game, and it's like there's some cool shit coming still too. Lou Bob was pissing on balls, and it was like, all right, like let's go. Let's start getting more excited for actual on the field stuff instead of this, two guys holding up the entire marketplace.
That was a bigger trip for the White Sox, right? It was like they took was a group of prospects from the United States and took them to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, they're in the DR. It's kind of cool though. They're like working with all these kids, and they're also getting in some sessions and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't think they've ever done this before. And
did you see Eloy's quote?
Neat. What? I'm gonna fucking kill everyone.
He's like, when we get there, we're gonna do damage. We're gonna win a World Series.
That's my boy. Let's go.
What happens if they don't, though?
Well, you gotta.
If they don't, it's gonna be Zoe. It's gonna be Zoe in the scout seats, just like this, just throwing his hands up and.
I still remember
pouring a beer over himself.
I still remember when you were in the scout seats for the Lucas Giolito start against the Astros.
Yeah.
That first inning when he walked like 8 guys.
He's throwing his hands up.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That was a great.
Didn't you make a GIF out of it?
Yep.
Yeah. Although I need you to tweet that GIF out because I need that.
That's gonna be that's gonna be all White Sox fans this offseason.
We should just put that in. Yes. Share that.
That's a tweet.
By the way, we have to celebrate something here on this show. Zoe is Twitter famous.
Oh, that's right.
Zoe is Twitter famous, recognized by a random fan on the train.
Dude, that was
so. Were you about to fight? So the way you were describing that, it was like Zoe's about to throw down.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there. I take an early train. I'm an early riser. If you ever want to like engage in a good conversation with me, do it between like 6 and 8 in the morning when I'm on my commute because I'm just sitting on a metro train. But I'm just sitting there and I'm listening to music, messing around on Twitter, and I look up and this dude's looking at me, whatever. And I look back up and this dude's still looking at me, and I just looked at him and I just finally I took my earpiece out and I was like, "Sup?" He goes, "Hey, you're Southside Zoe." I was like, "Yeah, it's me. What's up, dude?" And he's like, "Oh, it's Manny shit." And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's talk." So we started talking about this stuff.
Twitter famous.
I was like, "Hey, thanks. We appreciate you listening, as we appreciate all of you that listen to this show." And
watch us live.
That was cool. And then I was really surprised when I did that Periscope. That thing got 1,000 views.
There you go.
I was like, shit.
I mean, that's the thing. We might be tired of this fucking madness, but we still love it.
People are engaged. People are engaged.
Everyone still loves it.
And then and K-Fids made a great point today. Now they're throwing the Cardinals hat in the ring for Machado.
I saw that. That's San Fran.
All these hillbilly ass racist mother. Oh my goodness gracious. I can't deal with this shit, man. The Cardinals' best fan in baseball account is gold on Twitter if you're not following it already. And it's just all the Cardinals fans that show their ass. And he makes sure he takes screenshots of all of them because they all delete it real quick once they know they got called out. And he takes screenshots of all these people with their racist bullshit. And the best are when he goes on the spree, and I know, Aldo, you like this one too, with all the people that said they'd rather have Yachty over Mike Trout. It's awesome. He screenshots them all. It's fantastic. So now we have that fan base. It's bad enough dealing with Yankees fans. Now we got to deal with Cardinals fans too with regards to this Manny shit. Lord help me. Oh my goodness.
I love your purple headphones though.
Thank you.
Your purple skull candy.
That's why the guy was looking at you at first. Like, oh.
No, I have my earbuds in. I'm not a poor.
This is terrible.
So
that was a good show.
We're still not done, Nuke. No, I'm just kidding.
No. We still have more?
No. I mean, I can talk about how beautiful. No, that's about it for now. I mean, I'm sure we'll be doing the same exact episode. Maybe we'll just record the opening with me saying a different day, and then we'll just play this episode again next week because it's gonna be all the same shit.
I mean, we're gonna have reaction from Cubs convention where nothing happened, and then
and then next week is White Sox. By the way, we should probably announce to our fan base that there's a possibility that we could be credentialed at Sox Fest. But we might not.
We're possibility.
We're still waiting. We're still waiting to hear back.
Yep. So
and we're gonna send Zoe because he's Twitter famous.
Yeah, hashtag get Zoe credentialed and get me into Sox Fest credentialed. I'll bring some good content.
He'll dress like Borat.
Yep.
and ask all color questions.
What? No.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Nobody wants to see or hear that. I know we don't do free ads here, but I think it's sold out actually.
I think so.
The boys from the 108, the 108 and the Sox Machine are getting together to do a little Sox Fest tailgate at Buffalo Wings and Rings. And side note, if you're still listening to this, God bless you. And also tweet Daniel Polka that he should drink a 30-pack of Busch Light with me because he liked my tweet. So we like each other. We're best friends now. That's it. That's all I got. That's it. I'm done.
And that's the show for this week.
Nuke, any last words?
I think I've said all I needed to say. I took care of my InfoWars section of this portion of this program, where I just throw out crazy conspiracies and ideas.
Yeah. No, that was We'll end it there. So
we're out of gas. We have nothing left.
I can't wait for Aldo to put a sound effect in there tomorrow for it. InfoWars.
Yep, I'm out of gas. I'm just drained from this shit.
And we're spent.
Yep. Sorry for all the cursing. Back to normal next week, hopefully.
Are we back to optimism? Can we end on a high note?
Yeah, let's figure out something.
Can we end it this way?
I need something good.
The Cubs, as we said earlier, as Aldo mentioned, literally, if they don't get one of the big guys, if their players play the way they're supposed to, they're a damn good team. Yeah. They're division leaders, them and the Brewers, and I think they're stronger than the Brewers. The White Sox.
Eloy's coming.
Eloy's coming. They're not going to be World Series contenders, that's for sure. But they got better this offseason with what they've done so far with Kelvin Herrera, maybe Ivan Nova, maybe James McCann. Who was the other pitcher they got? Jeez, I don't know why I can't.
Kelvin Herrera
and Colome. Their pitching staff got a little better. We need to see development from Giolito and Lopez, and we want to see Rodon keep doing the same thing, keep doing what he did for most of last year. So Eloy's coming.
Eloy's coming.
Hell yeah, and he's bringing hell with him. Let's go, boys. So for Manny Nuko, that's Aldo Soto. I'm Matt Zwaski. This is Pinwheels and Ivy. I'm so tired, just done.
Do you need to
right.
plug Tick Blitz one more time?
TickBlitz.com. TickBlitz for all your ticket needs. TickBlitz, TIXPLITZ. TickBlitz.com. Get them here down to TickBlitz.com.
Sounds like you're saying tits blitz.
Tick Blitz. It's the tits.
It's hard.
No, is that the new slogan?
Tick Blitz.
Oh.
It's the tits. I think we just gave them free internet gold.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Although feel free to cut this feed whenever you want.
I'm just gonna see how long this goes. Bryce Harper to the Cubs.